and our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Hey, this is everybody. It's Lloyd Spence. And listen, you can find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the Major League Baseball is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? Man, I got the Braves, man. I feel like they're going back to back. Because BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas, casino, and poker games. It's super easy to get started. So head on to the website today and use your mobile device to join and use your promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Go on over to BetOnline. It's where the game starts. And tell them the Noisemaker show.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. You can make it around the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Two,
Come on.
Not getting hassled, not getting hustled.
It's gonna be a good show today.
Making a way when you're down.
Every lady on.
Good time.
We need y'all to come through. Go and tag somebody. Night mellow exclusive.
Ain't we lucky we got 'em?
But don't bring your kids. People all over the noise media land, have no fear. We are here. If you don't mind, white organist, go ahead and get us started, my brother. Play, white organist, play. Thank you, white organist. We still haven't got the Leslie fix. That's, stuff is slow right now, but that's all right. White organist is making it work with what he has. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make it work with what we have. We're going to take the pieces and make a whole right here on Talkin NOIZ. Welcome, 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 everybody. Grab your church fan, grab your Bibles, grab your tithing envelopes, and get ready for a powerful episode of Talkin NOIZ. I'm here, Al's here, Mama Noise is here. We're all here to be a blessing to each and every one of you. God bless you for being here tonight on this fine 4/21/2022. God bless you, each and every one of you. Thank you, White Lord. Thank you. You sound good on that keyboard, man. You killing that thing. For real talk. What? No, we're not buying it. No. I don't care if it's, I don't care. I don't care. Because black people like a Leslie, man. That's why. We like Leslies. We like real organs. Don't start with me, man. Don't start with me. I don't care if you get up. So, hello, everybody. He got a little attitude because he want to keep the keyboard. We ain't keeping that keyboard. It's too expensive. The trustees ain't gonna do it anyway. I'll talk to the trustees and see if they'll buy the keyboard.
I'll call a quick meeting right after morning.
After morning service. Just ask them. Just ask them. And if they say yes, fine. You're so spoiled. You're spoiled. You want a paycheck and a keyboard? Anyway. Mama Noise, how you doing tonight?
I'm well.
What? You don't sound well. Why you seem like you got such an attitude?
Because,
Because
you
what?
Because you be fussing.
What did I do now?
If you have to ask, then that's shameful.
All because I told you don't be starting all that rickety racket and rigmarole before the show downstairs near my office. Is that why you're fussing?
That's why you fussing.
I said what I said.
Okay.
But you look good though. Hey, boo. What's going on, boo?
Oh my gosh.
You look good, mama. I like the way.
Thank you.
Did you just shade my song?
Yeah, I did.
You know what, Mama Noise? You can get a little attitude from time to time. I don't like
me when you play in the kissing game.
Thank you, Al. Thank you. By the way, one of them dudes just died. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
I have
I
not.
think he was a part of High Five.
He was. Pooh
Mama
Clark.
Noise, you're a big fan. Which one was it?
Pooh Clark.
Who?
Pooh Clark.
Pooh. His name was Pooh?
That was his nickname, Pooh Clark.
Did he have a real name, Mama Noise?
Well, nobody called him that. They called him by the nickname, not the government name.
Well, black folk won't let you be great. Mama goes to all that trouble to name him my actual name, and they want to call him by his nickname.
Was he some of your people?
Ooh, good question.
I didn't know.
Would you claim him if he was?
Thank you, Dion.
Would you claim him if he was?
Well, yes. I would absolutely claim him.
Okay. You're big. I feel like you would be a big high five fan because you just give off big five. You give off high five energy.
Not too many people know that, that makes two of the members of the high five that are deceased. One of my all-time favorites was the lead singer, which was Tony Thompson. He was the lead singer. He was the pastor's son.
Okay.
All of them was from Texas, so
yeah,
here in Waco. So.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? You like all that. What you
every year on my birthday, I listen to one of their songs.
This ain't about high five. I just mentioned.
No, I'm just saying. I just want to let you know. You asked about my fandom.
I didn't actually.
No, you said you look like you bringing big fan energy, and I said because I listened to one of their songs.
That was like a yes or no question, and then
I'm giving the receipts. I listen to every birthday.
Well, thank you.
It's a song called "Birthday Girl."
Thank you. So listen, we got a great show for you guys tonight.
Wow, did you just?
Because we didn't say about high five.
You brought him up in the first place.
I literally didn't bring it up.
You started singing it, then you got Al to co-sign, and he started trying to.
We've been done with that for about 5 minutes now.
No, it ain't been 5 minutes.
Yeah, we moved on a long time ago. We was like high five, oh, funny song, and then we moved on. I'm excited about tonight's show, I'll be honest with you. But before we get into that, we do have some housekeeping stuff that's good where we need to talk about. We were going to schedule a replay this weekend of last week's shows because of some things Mr. Noise had going on, and I thought I was gonna have to miss the shows this weekend, but turns out I don't have to miss the shows this weekend. So the shows will be live, Daddy and the Girls, and as well as I Still Do. So production is working on what the topics are, and so when I have it, you'll have it. But until then, we got that going on this weekend, and then also tomorrow, of course, is Black Friday, and I've decided to make this Black Friday unfiltered.
Oh no!
Why do you gotta say that?
That's usually uncorked, not unfiltered on a
Well,
Friday.
this week is unfiltered. Uncorked is Saturday night. Unfiltered means we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about on Saturday night. On Friday night. Whatever you and the noisemakers and everybody want to talk about. It don't matter to me.
I couldn't even finish talking about high five. How you gonna say that?
I said Friday night. You want to bring high five back up on Friday night, feel free. Tonight we ain't talking about high five.
No, I don't want to bring it back up so you can cut off my high five conversation.
Why? First of all, high five is not even like there ain't that many high five fans.
Have some respect.
Okay.
For the passing of the member.
I respect it. I do.
How you gonna do it when you know they ain't got that many fans? That ain't right.
I'm just saying there ain't no legion of high five people walking down the street.
Wow, still you gonna continue?
Al, can you come get your sister, please?
No respect.
How's it no respect? I'm just saying, I don't know. You might be the only high five fan I know, is what I'm saying.
That's not true because Dion came up with the name of it first, and nickname and last name in the chat.
One word, Google. It's not that hard. He Googled it.
No, he didn't. He knew him.
Dion, confess. Confess, Dion, and honestly, confess. He Googled it. I bet you if we walk the streets of Texas right now, you couldn't find 10.
No, that's not right. I will not stand idly by and let you talk about the deceased like that.
I'm not talking about the deceased. I'm talking
You
about
are
you.
talking about the group. Talking about ain't no fans. I can't even find one.
Okay, I'm sure they got 5. I'm sure they got some.
Wow, really?
No. I don't mean.
You saying high five got 5?
I misspoke. I meant to say they had fans. I didn't mean to say they had 5 fans.
Yes, you did.
No,
yes,
I didn't. Stop.
Yes, you did, G Money.
Stop putting words in my mouth.
See, thank you.
He said I didn't. I knew the name already, especially from. Oh, he watched the unsung episode.
Thank you, Dion, for getting Mr. Noise thinking everybody got to Google stuff.
All right.
Man, you're like Lloyd. You're like school in summertime.
What does
No
that mean?
class.
Yeah, no class.
Where I heard it from?
Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. Yeah. Fat Albert. I was like, I've heard that before. That's Fat Albert. Yeah, you're right.
The Avatar wasn't a dead giveaway.
It should have been. That's my fault. Mama Noise got me rattled, bro. Between Mama Noise and her high fived them, and white organist wanting to bust about the keyboard, I'm a little frazzled right now. I'm gonna have to pull it all back together.
I don't know why you're giving him such a hard time.
Because I think he's up to something.
You always wanted a Hammond B3 or whatever.
I never wanted a Hammond B3.
You wanted a nice keyboard, so I don't even know why you're giving him a hard time.
Because I think he's up to something. You know, he likes to go gig, and I feel like he's going to be asking to borrow the keyboard quite a bit. We'll see where this is going, but I feel like a request to borrow the keyboard is forthcoming.
Throwing shade on a musician.
No, I'm just saying. I know how this game is played, Mama Noise. I know how this works. Hey, brother minister, brother preacher, Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Lloyd. You know I got to go over and play at such and such tonight. You mind if I
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have a misunderstanding.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I know how this works, man.
That's usually something you don't pack up and take out the house.
Right.
But
I feel like he's gonna ask, bro, because he's reckless like that. But I'm gonna stall him out for now.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz is here, y'all. What's going on, brother?
What are you guys talking about?
White organist. He wants to buy the keyboard because the Leslie's out. So we've been renting the keyboard, and he wants us to buy it. But I feel like he up to something. You know how you can tell somebody when they up to something.
Today.
Don't worry about it. It's just church business. I know y'all running like a smooth, smooth sailing over and slide in. Y'all don't even use organists. Y'all use DJs. So
now that Cuz is here.
Were you asking about high five?
I believe that he spoke prophetically.
About what?
On yesterday.
Be careful.
We weren't on yesterday.
The day before that.
Okay. What did he speak prophetically about?
Be careful.
So I thought I would leave the house to go to the mailbox.
Okay.
I said I'm gonna go to the mailbox real quick. It's like right over there. It's not far from the house at all.
Okay.
So I made the decision that I was just running, not running literally. I walked over to the mailbox.
Okay.
In doing so, I made an error. I should have wore my bra when I went to the mailbox.
Oh Lord.
But I did not.
There's no way this ends well.
I thought I was just walking over to the mailbox and that there's nobody outside. I should be safe. I get to the mailbox. I check inside the mailbox. I turn around and I kid you, you're not going to believe me. I turn around and there are two little elementary school boys standing right behind me with their mouths wide open saying absolutely nothing. I'm like, hello. And they still are standing there with their mouths open, not saying nothing.
Hey, Miss Johnson.
I said, wow, let me hurry up and get back in the house because clearly I have been a distraction for these elementary school boys. I'm telling you, they came out of nowhere. I see those little boys all the time. They never say anything to me, but this time they just pulled up right in front of me and just stood there.
Let's get your titties out.
Did they sit there and go? Did they sit there and go? Damn.
Rocked with it, bounced with it.
I couldn't believe it. I said, wow. I just thought I was just getting the mail. It should have been a simple transaction.
Well, you did get the mail. That part is true.
I'm just saying, where did they come from? They came out of nowhere.
And you also provided the neighborhood with a special treat.
There's a song that came to mind when you started talking about that, Mama Noise, that we used to sing in the church. But it was one of your husbands sung the song, and it was "Endow Me."
I don't think that's the meaning of the song.
That is not what they were talking about.
Reverend James Moore, Mama Noise, you too well endowed to be leaving the house without a problem.
Well, I thought I was. It's right there,
But
and I didn't even.
I really believe that's a growing trend. I was just the reason why I'm late coming on. I was just with my daughter getting her some new contacts and glasses, and we up there at America's Best, and some black girl with her boyfriend, were walking to their car, and this black woman had on a white T-shirt with no bra on.
A white T-shirt.
Puppy nose as big as my nose. I'm like, Lord, is this what we're doing now? Is there a movement to go braless in America?
Oh, freedom.
I thought I was in the comforts of my own home, and that I'm going right to the mailbox.
You left the front door. You weren't in your home.
Yeah, but the mailbox was right there, and there was nobody outside when I went out the front door.
See, that's why we're gonna start calling it Thursday, Ta Thursdays.
Let me show you how bad that planning was. My wife, a few months back, it wasn't a couple of weeks, a few months back, we have alleyways where we live. Alleyways.
Wait, is this a true story?
It's a true story.
Okay.
It's a true story.
All right.
We have alleyways behind our house, and the trash cans are out there in the alleyway. And we have, on one side of the driveway, we got the recycle bin. On the other side, we got the two trash cans. And she was taking some boxes to the recycle bin. And she decided to do that. That's at the end of our driveway. She decided to do that with no bra on.
Mm.
Well, lo and behold, our next door neighbor obviously had good timing, because he's going to the trash can at the same time.
Mm.
Then he wanted to all of a sudden hold an in-depth conversation.
Yes, Lord, he did. He was like, I got things to talk to you about.
So I wasn't at home. But when I pulled up,
Oh no!
I pulled up in the driveway, and I'm noticing my wife out here with no bra on, and the man trying to carry on conversation.
Yeah.
I jumped out my car and said, OJ, let's go.
OJ,
Come on. Whatever he got to talk about, he can talk about at the bar. But you ain't going to do is if they stab my wife titties.
You stare out the window.
what?
Staring out the
I'm
window.
staring out the window. That's supposed to be between me and you, Albie.
See?
That is true. There's a snitch quality to that.
Why does he always think he and I are having these private conversations?
Anthony Bruce said, the one little boy testified. He said, if I told you if we went to church Easter, good things would happen, and it did happen. Mama Noise, I'm gonna tell you something. You don't know it, but you are the hit at somebody's middle school today. You are a star to somebody's middle school right now. That lunchroom discussion was lit like a Christmas tree.
He's not far from the truth. I remember when I was a kid, we had a neighbor that used to like to go out to her mailbox in her house road, and I used to like to observe because they were Wahite. You know, Wahite do that. They go outside barefooted. Why you want to go out there, get your feet dirty, then go crawl up in your own bed? That's nasty. But anyway, yeah, she used to like to go outside and go to the mailbox. Then she'd sit on the step drinking her coffee with her robe on.
Mm-hmm. That's called advertising.
I used to like to get my bike and go for a ride. True story.
You was a nasty little boy, huh?
Let me guess. You was riding in circles in the driveway, wasn't you?
All my life.
Yeah, he riding in circles in the driveway.
Right. Doing donuts. Figure eights.
If she was willing to show, I was willing to look.
Oh my gosh.
So, Mama Noise, I gotta ask you, now that you've had this experience, are you going to continue to educate the youth of this community, or are you going to bra up? What do you?
What's the lesson, Mr. Noise? What's the lesson?
Well, listen, they learned some biological lessons now. They definitely walked away with far more knowledge than they had before. That's for damn sure.
Somewhere in somebody's house at the dinner table over some hamburger helper, there's going to be a conversation.
Wow.
Mommy, why don't yours bounce like Miss Johnson's?
Is hamburger helper the key meal for these type of conversations?
Yeah, those are 2015 babies.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
Them little boys look like they was from the Little Rascals. I don't understand. Well, it's not meant for me to understand why they just stood there. I was like, what's wrong with them?
I believe
I can answer that question. Why they stood there. Because you had your titties out.
Yeah.
This really ain't that hard.
No, that's easy.
Yeah, grown men would have stood there if you had your titties out.
I've never had that experience.
Well, we try to be a little more subtle than that, but we definitely see titties. Now, we're not blind.
Yeah, you've never had an adult male and you'd be like, up here, I'm up here.
Because y'all could tell when we're looking at them. You see the eyes.
I mean, well, you thinking that these are little boys. I'm saying they got, they just elementary school. Riding their little bikes. They rolled their bike in and came right up behind me and just stopped. I was
you have to realize this is 2022. Little boys generally stop after around 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
The access to visual stimulation that they have on these electronic devices. Yeah, little boy don't last long.
But it's different though, because now they got a chance to see it up close. It was all the theory is come to life.
They could have been further away. They pulled up right in front of me and then
and I can tell you exactly I can tell you exactly what he said to the other one. He said, "Today we have to come in."
And Mama Noise, the truth of the matter is, we as little boys we can no longer get milk out of them, but we never stop trying to get back to the titties.
What? Wait, what?
We can no longer get milk out of them. We're not sucking for feeding purposes. We sucking now for pleasure. We observing now for pleasure. It's just the male. That's the male in them.
First off, Pastor, you didn't hear what you said. It didn't really.
We don't ever stop trying to get back to the tip. What I say wrong, Pastor?
You use that S word, and this just did not come out right.
What did I say?
Oh my God! Let me just be clear. This unfiltered Black Friday is tomorrow night. It's tomorrow. It's not tonight. It's tomorrow.
What did I say that was so?
Apparently it's Friday somewhere, so I guess we get started.
Mama Noise, did the little boy play this when you showed up?
That's not right. That's not right. Now, I do agree with Anthony Bruce in that we need to use this to our advantage, though, Mama Noise. Because now we know that we piqued their interest. So when I'm coming back from them Sam's Club runs or big grocery store runs or whatever, just saying, a little help goes a long way.
Somebody carrying some damn groceries, goddamn.
I'm just
Yeah, they
saying.
gonna see you. They can be like, "Where Miss Johnson?"
Oh, she in the house, but if you just help me bring these groceries in, you know, or
Oh,
at least
yeah.
get them to the steps. Can you get them to the steps?
I wish a little ninja would
I'm just,
take your ragged ass on somewhere.
I didn't know what was wrong. I thought something was wrong with them. I was like,
No,
what is wrong with these boys? And then he's like, hi.
that's right. Dog.
I said,
Hi.
why is he doing that?
Talkin NOIZ, you didn't recognize what was going on, really?
No, I was trying to just get the mail and get back in the house. And then I turned around and they were standing there. They was blocking my way with their bikes. And I'm going,
Let me help you with this because I don't think you're getting it. I've seen them. They are magnificent. I would have stopped and stared as well.
Thank you, dear.
You almost got a hey. He gave you a hey, Miss Parker. That's all it was.
Hey, Miss Parker. Now you know how she felt.
Now you know how she felt.
When you gonna let me, Miss
Nope.
Parker?
He just had to take it there, didn't he?
I know, and he up there telling other people tomorrow's unfiltered.
You know that's what he said, wrong?
We know that part.
Okay, all right. Well, I was just finishing the quote.
I thought it was. I was.
All right. Well, anyway, tomorrow it'll be stuff like that. So it'll be stuff like that tomorrow. But tonight is a different show. Tonight is the challenge of living your truth.
It's gonna be the front of your house tomorrow. Hang on.
Wow.
You're gonna get home tomorrow. It's gonna be the front of your house.
Really, Al?
Can't even park. Just like, why are these bikes in my driveway?
That's a good question. Did you ever, as a kid, find somebody's mama sexy? One of your
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. What in the world?
Wait, why are you saying yeah?
I'm saying, why would you say yeah?
My first crush was my mama's best friend.
Your mama's best friend.
Mama NOIZ. We are men.
We're men.
And we used to be horny little boys. Yes, we found somebody's. When we figured out exactly how the whole thing worked, called a woman, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. The answer to that question is an emphatic yes.
Mm-mm.
Why are you so shocked by this?
Because I didn't look at nobody's daddy and say, ooh, your daddy's fine.
Well, because girls don't do that. But boys, we don't care. We just how cuz cut that feed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dad's been coming in the room. It's like, I'll be back.
Right. But no, I get it. I understand. I do. You had to cut that feed, didn't you? You was like, wait a minute.
You're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, you are, because you're frozen in the mud.
I'm not frozen. It's just not working.
It's working now. You got it fixed. I have some more interesting stuff to discuss with you guys. Which sparked today's show. This is an interview down the Breakfast Club. You know, they do a throwback Thursday type stuff. They had Stephanie Mills on. And I learned some stuff that I did not know. Like, did y'all know Stephanie Mills and Michael Jackson used to date? I know. No, not be it. Listen to Stephanie Mills.
Lies.
Okay, I'm gonna let her speak it out of her own mouth. Hold on. Just let me get production on point here.
Is that when she used to say it? I think a home song.
No, don't do that. Don't. Just let her say our truth.
On certain places, I used to stay there and go with him to the film and stuff. But no, he never bought me anything.
How long did y'all used to date?
We dated while he was
Black, you was gonna say.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's fine. That's
Yes.
that's the truth.
Yeah, we dated.
What was his mindset back
He
then?
was the most gentle, most kind. He never said a bad word about anybody. I've never seen him upset. Never. He was so gentle and so kind, and he's not a pedophile, not at all.
When did he start changing? Like when you started seeing him lightening his skin and doing stuff with his skin?
I think when he became bigger, in entertainment world, they always tell you, because I was always black. I was too black, to this, to that. So they want you to cross over. So they tell you have to, not sing so soulful, so I think when he crossed over to pop, which I don't like labels, because I think music is music. That's when he began to change. When he got all that success, and he had, I believe he had the wrong type of people around.
And when did y'all break? Why did y'all break up? Why did y'all stop?
Because I didn't want to go to certain people's houses for dinner, I didn't want to do that.
The white people he started hanging around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
They don't season the chicken.
Well, you just could probably see the devilish ways in them, and that's probably when you started to see the change.
I wasn't going to change my, if I was too black, if my songs were too R&B. Only one of my songs was played on pop radio.
Which one?
That's Never Knew Love Like This Before.
Oh, that's my song too.
Yeah.
So why do you think he got caught up in that whole pedophile scandal?
Because Michael liked being around children because they were innocent. Even my brother Andre used to hang around Michael, and they didn't want anything from him. They didn't have an agenda, and I think that's why he liked being around children. They just liked to play and have fun. They didn't have an agenda, but most people around him had an agenda. They wanted something. I mean, I would go to Havenhurst and see mothers drop their daughters off to stand at that gate and wait for Michael.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think it was strange, any of his behavior, like staying over with the kids or anything like that?
I didn't think it was strange. No, I didn't think anything he did was strange. I think the public and I think people that are around him made it strange, and because he liked that, they made the story. But he's not that.
That's from his ex-girlfriend, Stephanie Mills. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was a very, very interesting interview. She said, number one, he ain't a pedophile. Number two, she didn't think he was strange. He just liked being around kids because kids didn't want nothing but just to play and have fun. Whereas grown ass people want a lot, which is probably true.
So
Michael Jackson.
All of a sudden, Stephanie Mills says it, and we're supposed to just.
I'm listen.
Hell, OJ said he didn't do it.
I'm giving you the background.
His driver also said he didn't do it. We don't believe neither one of them.
I'm giving you the background, Al. That's all I'm doing. Just like I'm going to give you the background of a Jaden Smith interview on Big Boy Radio, and this is what he had to say about his mama wanting to marry Tupac.
I just didn't understand and just how deep rooted they are in hip hop as well.
Yeah, gosh, man.
I'm looking at this picture right here of Tupac on the shirt right there, and Tupac asked to marry my mom. And
even production knew that was a lie. It cut off.
No,
sorry.
He said he had Tupac asked to marry his mom, and he said, once I went out to the, let me read the whole quote. They say, marry your best friend, but I'm glad they didn't, obviously. He said, I'm looking in the picture, and Tupac asked to marry my mom. I know that most people want to always connect it in this romance thing, but that's just because they don't have the story. So I don't know. It's very confusing what he said, but the fact that he even said it is weird to me.
Tupac asked to marry your mom, and that's supposed to be the love of her life, and she said no.
Well, I don't know. Well,
we didn't get to that part.
Right, we didn't get to that part, and I don't even know if that's in the interview. So,
well, I mean, it's kind of obvious that they didn't marry if they're not.
Well, they didn't marry, but I don't know what she said or why I don't know.
Because she said, yeah, her last name wouldn't be Smith.
Yeah.
No, that's not necessary. She could have said yeah, and then they never ended up going through with the ceremony. Maybe he was assassinated prior to that. We don't know.
Yeah.
He could have asked. She could have said yes.
Yeah, that's true. Which would explain a lot if that were true. It would explain
Right,
a lot.
because that would explain why she would be why it would be difficult for her to
move on and stuff.
Yeah.
The last interview,
if in fact it is difficult for her to move on.
Yeah, the last interview is even more kind of strange to me. Most of you don't know who Gia Casey is, but Gia Casey is the wife of Breakfast Club DJ Envy. And they do a podcast together, a marriage podcast, but they've also written a book. And I think the book is called Real Life, Real Love or something like that. But they sat down on the Breakfast Club, his show, his morning show, and they talked about how DJ Envy thought that he was putting it down with his wife and giving her the good loving and the good sex, and he thought he was Big Daddy Long Leg, just putting it down. And she said, "No, I faked orgasm with you for 10 years." I was like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Is he supposed to be upset?
Well, I mean, if that was a private conversation, I would think that's okay to have that conversation. But
then he put it in his book. He put it in his book.
Put it on the book. They put it in the book. Now, to be fair to the conversation, one of the things that prompted them to read or to put the book out is because DJ Envy did cheat on his wife, Gia, and he confessed to cheating. In fact, I think at one point he confessed on air that he cheated on her. And it seems like he's been confessing ever since. He just keeps confessing, and she got him confessing over and over and over and over again. It's an interesting statement that is being, or a situation that's happening here in the Envy household or Casey household. But I guess what prompted today's show is this question. What does living your truth mean? Like what? Because everybody seems to want to live their truth. And their truth typically comes at the expense of somebody else. Even with Jada Pinkett Smith, she said, they just launched the new season of the Red Table Talk, and the episode started like this. Well, I guess I should read it because some people can't see it. Let me start over. The episode starts like this. Considering all that has happened in the last few weeks, the Smith family has been focused on deep healing. Some of the discoveries around our healing will be shared at the table when the time calls. Until then, the table will continue offering itself to powerful, inspiring, and healing testimonies like that of our incredibly impressive first guest. Thanks for joining us, Jada. So it brought me to this question. What does it mean to live your truth? Like, what does that really mean? And am I supposed to, what are my responsibilities to your truth? I guess is the way to start that question. Because all these people that we're talking about are living their truth. That's what they would tell you. I'm living my truth. Well, what does that mean? Does it mean I'm going to have to whoop some little boy's ass if he comes to the front door asking for my wife? Because he want to see her titties? Like, I don't.
He living his truth. He wanted to see the doctor.
He's living his truth. He wants to see titties. Was Jay supposed to punch the dude in the throat that rolled up on his wife and was like, I'm coming outside and I need to have a discussion with this woman who got her titties out? Like, at what point, what does that mean, living your truth? So I'm asking our esteemed panel, what does that mean?
Your truth will always be at the expense of someone else. There's no way around it.
Your truth will always be at the expense of someone else. That's what I heard you say.
If you really being authentic and living your truth, and you have no boundaries around that, then whatever you want to do, that's what you will do. Whatever you want to say, that's what you'll say.
Really?
I'm just living my truth.
Living your truth is boundaryless?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question because don't you live your truth every day? Aren't you always living your truth?
No, not
you don't.
Not really. No. You have to have boundaries around it.
But that's living my truth. My truth is me living within my boundaries. That's living my truth.
No, that's adjustments that you have made in order to accommodate others.
So you saying living your truth means I can be any ass that I want to be. That's not living your truth. That's just you being an ass.
Living your truth is all about you.
Living your truth is all about you.
Yeah, living your truth, in my opinion, has nothing to do with anybody else because you're holding yourself accountable for your success, your failures, your joy, your happiness. So you're not, no one else is liable but you. No one else is accountable but you.
But don't you do that anyway?
No, we reserve our opinions because we don't want to upset somebody else. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to be offensive. So no, we don't live our truths.
So not having morals.
No, I have said this on this show. I have said this on this show before, but all that I could do, I don't do because it's going to have an impact on somebody else. So my truth will take me into directions that I shouldn't go. If I'm honest with myself, that which I want to do will have a negative impact on someone else, potentially.
Because you live your truth? I'm struggling with that.
Because it's almost you saying living your truth means living without boundaries.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like he's saying. Like it does.
Living your truth is all about you. When we invite others into our lives, we start making adjustments that we wouldn't make if they were not there.
Living your truth, you don't seek outside validation.
That's right. That's right.
But why does my truth have to infringe upon others?
Because it's all about you. It's not about others.
I don't know if I'm struggling with
even
this.
Even as a businessman that wants to achieve the world, you have to put some boundaries on that. If you don't put boundaries on it, then you won't spend the quality time with those in your circle, whether it be your friends. Most very successful people have an imbalance of their friendships and their relationships because they're so focused on themselves, their success, which is why it's hard for them to get married and to even have true friends because they don't invest in that.
So everything we do is a living a lie?
No, I just don't believe. I don't believe in the term that we're talking about.
Okay,
I think the term we're saying doesn't fit.
So you're saying, in theory, what the world's definition of living your truth is living selfishly in front of people without consequence.
Selfishly or selfish?
Well, you're saying it's about you. Yeah, you're saying it's about me. I really don't care what you think. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and it don't really matter how it affects you.
Don't you think that's where society has been moving towards, slowly but surely? Anytime a man come out and say, I'm a woman, when he has kids.
Okay. Now I'm hearing it.
His truth.
I'm hearing it different. I'm hearing your definition different. Okay. I got you. This is a fascinating
Yeah,
thing.
you still gotta explain it to me, dude. I'm still
well, because what he's saying is that's the world's definition of living your truth. And I don't know if I disagree with that, because even in the examples that we've given here today, Michael Jackson, everything Stephanie Mills might have said today could be true. Michael Jackson could be a guy who was so frustrated with his life that he found a pleasure and a joy just being around children because of their innocence and their desire to just exist. Now, that truth in his eyes is a selfish truth, because I'm going to go have kids over to my house and I'm going to spend the night with them, and I don't care what the consequences or the thoughts of that is. That is stupid as hell, because it's tone deaf. It's completely tone deaf of societal realities and the view of what people see when you got kids spending the night in your bed and all of that dumb stuff that he was doing. And by the way, I'm going to be honest with you, there's a part of me that kind of does believe that part of Michael Jackson, because he seems like that kind of ignorant. I don't see that. It just seems like that because of his background and his childhood and all the stupid stuff that he did as a kid. Well, not he did, but was done to him by Joe and all of that. I can see that. I can rationalize that. But I get what you're saying in the definition that there is an inherent selfishness that is devoid of consequence or even cares about consequence. In all of the examples that we're talking about, for Jaden Smith to say on a nationally syndicated radio show, my mom was asked to marry Tupac. And this is weeks after the baby, said, well, I wrote a letter in school asking Tupac to marry my mom. The fact that they even know Tupac, that they've connected even those dots, is ridiculous. But Jada would argue, I'm living my truth. Damn the consequences. Damn who it hurts. Damn how it hurts our family. Damn how we look in these streets. I'm living my truth.
So it's this. Okay.
I see that as a plus, because I don't see that as damn the consequences. I see that despite the perception, like Michael Jackson, despite the public perception of what's going on in these sleepovers, I'm going to live my truth. I am going to be in a happy place. I am going to be responsible for my own joy, for my own happiness.
Okay. Well, that's why I asked the question about boundaries. Is living your truth a boundaryless act where you say, whatever it takes for me to be happy and quote unquote free, that's what I'm willing to do?
Don't you feel that's where society is going? No boundaries. If you want to be a man today, you can be a man today. You want to be a woman tomorrow, you can be a woman tomorrow. If you want to be this, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to feel, I feel I'm this, I feel, whatever you believe, society is moving towards, it's okay. That's your truth. No matter how big your dick is, you feel like you're a woman.
But see, I tend to think that someone living their truth responsibly in a mature manner does not allow or wishes that their truth is not intrusive on somebody else. I believe someone with arrogance says, damn, who's offended, who's affected by my truth. But I don't think, which may very well be the majority, but I think someone who's living their truth respectfully, because living your truth has a lot to do with respecting others.
That's kind of why I was asking. I mean, because again, I have boundaries. I have respect for others. So I'm living my truth because that's how I feel inside.
Well, my pastor preached about this.
What? This is how I feel inside.
So both things could be true. It's about the limits or the boundaries that you're setting on how you either you give a damn what people say, you don't give a damn what people say.
I was fascinated by the statement that Jada and her team released at the top of that Red Table Talk, because it said at some point we're going to discuss this at the table.
When we'll get our therapy is probably what that meant.
Well, it just to me, it reeked of tone deafness. Like it was just like, you still don't understand.
The fact that you're going to talk about it at the Red Table Talk is tone deaf.
It's tone deaf to me. Like, damn it, do you not understand? That's how we got here. You want to share everything. You want to put everything. But according to Jada, she's living her truth. I'm living my truth. By the way, I didn't watch the episode. All I did was capture that one little part, and I refuse. I'm all red tabled out. I can't take it no more. I'm done. I'm gonna have to get the clip notes from somebody else. I don't want to watch it.
And when did it come on?
I don't know. The other day it came out. I have a question for you guys in regards to what we're discussing here, because even the DJ Envy thing is fascinating to me. Because I'm just gonna be honest. This is my perception. I'm on the outside looking way in. I know they'll tell you we're trying to help somebody. We're trying to help somebody. You know, I don't know how telling the world that for 10 years your man's sex game is trash and you had to fake your orgasm, how does that help me? Like, Al, do you feel helped by that information?
No, but I can see how somebody can.
How? I don't
because he's not the only one out here blowing bubbles thinking they blowing backs out.
So, but does it help you because now you don't feel alone?
No, it helps you like, okay, maybe I need to be more in tune with my woman and we need to have this conversation. Hey, are you satisfied?
But is that how we're going to take it?
What?
Is that how we're going to take it? Society?
Society ain't taking it that way.
Hey, hell, you know,
because if they would have written that in the headline of the article, I would have said, "Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting," and I would have approached this thought process differently. But the headline reads, "DJ Envy wife faked orgasms for 10 years." And again, they don't control how it's interpreted, or how the media will choose to, take the story. But I just, cuz, do you want your wife to put that information out on you?
That she faked orgasms?
For 10 years.
I mean, well, if it's her truth.
But did that need to be out in the public, though?
But here's the thing. What's the plus side to that?
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
And that's what I think they're trying to push is there's a plus side. We've been together for 21. So that means I've been putting it down for 11.
Okay, so he redeemed himself.
Possibly. I'm just saying. She faked it for 10 years, but damn it, we've been together for 21.
Or the other positive is they've been together for 21. Even through all that, they stayed
through all of that.
Listen, it says absolutely nothing about that man that she faked an orgasm for 10 years. There's a whole lot more about her. If you couldn't figure out how to bust a nut in 10 years, that's your fault. I got mine, you better get yours. You the fool. You been laying down for 10 years for somebody, you ain't busting no nut?
Al, if you don't mind checking, I'm just out of pure curiosity of the timetable. When did he actually cheat on her? Was it early in the marriage? Was it halfway in the marriage? If you can find it. If you can't, I'm not gonna trip. But somewhere out there, I'm sure Wikipedia or somebody got it, where right around the timetable, if they've been married 20 years, where did he actually cheat on her? Because I'm gonna tell you the thing that popped in my head. This is just me. That's a hell of a get back.
And it also make people want to buy your book too, though. You can get some sales by saying you ain't had one in 10 years. People gonna want to read the book now.
But it's all but the way that they're tying it together is that they're tying it together centered around like some of the cheating that he did and all this other stuff. So it's like it.
Did you see the interview he did with I think it was Marlon Wayans when he did that interview?
What was the interview? I'm curious.
It was just they were just on the show talking to each other. And he's like, "Hey, I got a book," and he gave the book to him, and he was starting to read it. I forgot the name of the book. He's like, "Oh yeah, one thing you're gonna read in there." Well, hey, my wife said she didn't get an orgasm in 10 years, and he kind of looked at him and started laughing. So even the way he's promoting and selling it, he's promoting that to help sell that book.
But is he doing that because she's saying one of the things we're going to talk about publicly is this issue?
She could be, but why even? What's the point of talking about it?
Right at the midway.
Right at the midway.
They were married in 2001. She caught him cheating in 2012. So
he was practicing to learn how to do it better.
Right at the midway. Hell, maybe he was faking it for 10 years.
I was gonna say maybe
and he had to go out and get the real thing.
Woo! I am. This is a fascinating thing for me. It really is because Cuz said, "Don't you believe that society? This is where society is now. We are a society that is being told to live your truth, obey your thirst, whatever you feel, do." Go for it. Whatever it is, be your authentic self. Is this authenticity? Because this don't feel like authenticity to me. It could be. I don't know. It could be. But it doesn't feel like it. Mama Noise, you've been quiet. What are your thoughts on some of this?
Okay. First of all, a lot of women, I can't speak for the men because generally when you guys have your orgasm, there's evidence. Right?
This is correct.
Okay. So with women, that's not always the case. And if you've not been taught properly, or if you've not been taught what it is you're feeling and what that is, and if you don't understand it, then a lot of women do end up having sex a lot their whole life, or their whole, from when they start, just doing exactly what I always reference, the color purple reference, when the girl said he just got on top of me and did his business. Well, she feels like she's done that part. She's received, she's allowed, and he's satisfied. And so he rolls over. So she's like, okay, I've done what I was supposed to do, but not knowing what it takes to get her own satisfaction. And so if you're not taught, or if you don't have a clear understanding of your body, then you just keep going through the motions of, I did my part, I opened my legs, I received him, and so we had sex, or made love and all that. But the truth is, you did not reach an orgasm. And so since you didn't reach orgasm, you're saying, oh, okay, well, that's not what I didn't know I was supposed to get one. Because for a long time, it just wasn't something that was talked about. It was always, as long as the man is satisfied, the woman being satisfied, oh, okay, well, she got her, rub here, squeeze there, this, that, but she didn't get, her climax. And so, but you have to understand what's going on with the body in order to get that. And so I just don't think it's not taught, especially culturally. Culturally, we don't go around teaching.
So you're saying this could be a situation of ignorance, like she just didn't know no better.
Situation of ignorance. And then when he gets together with her, if he ain't trying to see, are you being satisfied? And she probably was like, yeah, I did exactly what I was, what I understand sex is, which is just, receiving, just receiving the penis and that's what we do.
Semen. Just say it. Semen.
You know what?
No, I'm not. You know what I'm talking about.
Today's not
I'm saying that they just haven't the mechanics of sex and not understanding that she's supposed to get something out of it.
Can I offer another theory? Just real quick. I'm asking questions. If let's say, you might be right, Mama Noise. You might be right. But let's say she knew, because the statement was she faked the orgasm. So it implies that she knew what an orgasm was and he didn't get her there. So I'm just throwing out a theory. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. Doesn't that make her a liar?
Yeah, she right. Yeah, she a liar.
Now, in when I heard that part, I messaged Mr. Noise and said, I don't know how you can recover from that. I'm not saying you can't forgive somebody or whatever, but how does one just go out there and say, is this mic on? Hey, I haven't had an orgasm in 10 years. I mean, how does one do that and then say, okay, all is well with our marriage?
But you know what, though? He obviously didn't give a damn, because my wife can't fake no orgasm for 10 years. Come on now. I mean,
no, I'm with you on that.
You all know your wife's body enough to know what's going on, man.
Wait a minute, right there, cuz that's the part. Do you take the time to get to know your wife's body to be able to know the difference? If you just getting your rocks off, you roll over, put your thumb in your mouth and go to sleep, and you can care less about what she get, then that's what it is. But if you ain't concerned about her being satisfied as well, then you just like, I did what I'm supposed to do. I got what I need to get. And okay, that's not healthy.
Let me say this. And I just believe that science was very unfair to you guys from the get-go. I don't understand. Number one,
science ain't got to do with this. This is the Lord.
It's just real hard for you to have an orgasm, first of all. You got to be in the right mood, the right mind, and you got to touch the right spot, all that old bullshit.
Right.
It's hard for you to get an orgasm, first of all. But then after that, there's no scientific reason for you to have an orgasm.
No, it's just for pleasure.
Just for pleasure. There's a reason for the nut.
Well, yeah. It says, okay, you got your satisfaction. I need to get mine too.
But there's a purpose behind the satisfaction.
But okay, and
I don't need to get one.
Oh my goodness. But listen, I don't know how to respond to what you just said. I may move past it.
Don't respond.
Right. Here's the problem I'm having with the whole conversation, though. Why would you wait 10 years to tell him that? And why would you wait 10 years? Or why would you not ever ask for 10 years?
Maybe he knows.
So maybe the fake orgasms are the latter 10 years of their relationship after the cheating. Well, and she just really can't connect with him emotionally.
Because
they connected in some way because they had 3 kids after the infidelity.
Right.
So
you're right, because being able to connect emotionally after something like that, it just seems to be, it's like non-existent, because your mind is not connected to that person. All you keep seeing is the there's been infidelity has been.
So it brings me to this question: why would I buy this book? Like either way, whether if it's Al's scenario and this is just some payback ish, or if it's my scenario where she just lied and just told him she was getting it, but she really wasn't getting it. How does this help me? Like I'm just trying to understand how.
But that's why you buy the book. You want to see what happens after that.
Is this a knock on him, or is it a confession of a woman's inability to have an orgasm?
It may just be a simple.
I could have a problem. Some women can't have orgasms. They just can't go. They can't get there for whatever reason. So is this a confession or is this a knock on his ability?
And see, for me, I don't know if that part matters as much as
I think it does.
Well, let me say why I say that. I don't know if it matters as much to me because you wrote the book because you said it's real life and real love. You put it out there how to overcome the hard times and the this, that, and the other. And I don't understand. Like, how is I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't get what this is supposed to accomplish.
As
women do a lot of things.
The rub. Maybe you are not the intended audience.
I'm definitely not the intended audience.
Right.
Women do a lot of things for men to please men.
What?
Women do a lot of things to please men. Whether it's faking an orgasm, making those sounds just so you go and get yours, because you know the more noise they make, the more we feel like we're doing something. We're just about there.
Whose kitty is this, big cat?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Albie.
You've kind of gotten fixated on this whole experience. There were like 4 stories that tied all this together, but this fine. We'll stay here.
Women do things to please men, whether it's buying lubrication. She can't get wet no more, so now we got to buy out just to try to please. I mean, there are things that are done that she can't naturally do anymore for one reason or the other.
Okay, but I don't take issue with any of that. My issue is for whatever reasons, y'all let this go on for 10 years. Y'all let this go on for 10 years. And you called it truth.
Listen, I believe jokes are funny because they are oftentimes true. And what we have to do as a people, we got to start being so embarrassed about our truths and share more.
Okay, but that's a different.
I do believe that, Mama Noise, 100%. We hold on to shit so tight, and the reality is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 of us on here, especially the 4 guys, we have a lot of the same experiences, but we don't talk about it.
And not every experience I have, I'm going to talk about.
I don't talk about every experience, but we have to get away from so much embarrassment, because embarrassment holds you hostage.
Embarrassment also keeps you safe. Embarrassment almost keep your ass alive.
It can, but it also makes you feel as if something was wrong with you.
So then we need to give Jada a pass there, right? Because she's sharing all of her truths and all of her embarrassments and all of her.
I don't have a problem with the Smith family. They're working it out. If you could just get a microscope and not a microscope. That's the wrong one. What's that other scope that you're looking at people's houses? They're looking at telescope. You just get one of them damn scopes and look up at my house. You see some shit too.
But I don't want to see inside your house. I don't want to see inside their goddamn house.
Well, a lot of what happens inside my house can actually help somebody else. That's the point.
I mean, it could, but what they're doing ain't helping somebody else.
Well, I mean, it might not help you because you got your shit together. But other folks,
that's why I don't watch her show. Again, that's probably why I don't watch that shit, because that's nothing I want to get from it. I don't want my house to burn down like hers right now.
But I will say that I think that it brings up an excellent conversation and question when women are ready to have that conversation. Because some of them are like, man, I've been doing this all this time, doing what I think is supposed to be done, or doing what he asked me to do, not even realizing I'm supposed to get something out of this. I've only been taught do the business, or that's how you make babies, and not been taught that there's supposed to be a pleasure principle in this for the woman as well, not just solely on for the man's pleasure, like everything we see.
But so the new Renaissance woman is doing that. This woman everybody's mad at, this independent woman everybody's mad about. That's what they're doing. They're learning this. They're figuring out that it's not just about his pleasure, it's about their pleasure. And society is beating the shit out of these women.
Yeah.
But Mama Noise, don't you guys find pleasure in just the holding?
Now, listen, we want the foreplay. Don't misunderstand me. We want the foreplay. We want the cuddling. We want the holding hands. We want the spoon. We want all of that close. We want all that. However, we don't understand that once you get past that part, once you got all this arousal and stuff happening, you like, okay, what I'm supposed to do is give him what he needs so he can get to where he need to be, and then all is well. But not realizing, guess what? I'm all aroused with all this because there's something I need too.
Let it loose.
And how do I get there? What do I need to do to get it? How do I tell him it hasn't arrived? How do I say that without him saying, well, you just need to come on, bust it. Okay, well, you ain't doing it right. You ready for that? You ready for that it ain't that. Stop doing me like you did Rashonda. Stop doing me like you did her. I'm not her. You need to figure out what it takes to do it for me.
You know, we had this show on April 2nd, and the next was not for a couple more weeks, right?
Well, we on the eve. We on the unfiltered.
Living her truth.
We come into a relationship. You bring the sex from the last person, and you think that that's acceptable to the person you with because you're saying, well, it worked for Rashonda. It should work for who I'm with. Rashonda don't like this fast. She don't like you doing that hard. She don't like you grasping and grabbing. She don't like that. She like it this way. And until you learn what that is, you're never gonna get her to her
Somebody is 21 years to figure it out. It took them 21 years or 12 years.
But like you said, we don't talk about it. We don't discuss it because
the truth is they're not living their truth. Because if there's that much disconnect between what he's doing and what she's doing, something is vastly wrong. There's a communication issue. There's a connectivity issue. There's a lot of stuff that something is not quite right. Go ahead, Al. You've been trying to jump in there.
Maybe somebody's gonna hear this story or pick up that book and learn that, wow, we can have a successful marriage. We can build a successful life for us and our family with weak ass sex. Maybe somebody's gonna learn that that's not the foundation of a relationship. They have 5 beautiful kids, several properties.
Oh, they're doing quite well.
He's a real estate mogul.
Yes.
So I think Rashawn and Gia are doing something right. His sex might be weak, but he's doing something right.
But I
They're
think
doing something right.
It has to do with communication. It can't be just about the mechanics. Somebody has to talk about what you do like, what you don't like, and what.
And I think we've established that. But here's the other side of this conversation. Can he walk around New York City now as DJ Envy, the nigga with weed sex? And all the accolades that Al just gave.
Oh, that's so unfair.
But who's to say she didn't put this out there so that the next troll that got him the first time, like, oh, that shit's
won't try him now.
Yeah, I don't want no part of that.
That could be part of this conversation. Because the point of it is there is consequences to living this loud. There are consequences. There are people that are never going to read this book. They're only going to run with that headline, and they may have the same conclusion as Al had. Next time he's in the club DJing, and he feeling himself, and he's like, "Hey, girl, what's going on? Please, nobody wants your weak ass sex game."
So there was a study done, and the study found that 46% of women reported that they have orgasms always or nearly always when having intercourse. 46% of women said that they have it always or nearly always. Only 6% of women said they always get theirs. Only 6% said they always get theirs.
You said 6?
6%.
So the other 48's undecided? You said 46. Said 46 said what they did or they didn't, was left 54.
46 said it's hit or miss.
Then there was 54.
48 said that shit ain't happening. And 6 said, oh yeah, I'm gonna get mine.
So it goes back to Mama Noise theory. So over half the population has no clue.
They're not getting it. They're not getting it.
Okay, I guess, and this took a different turn than I was expecting, but this is interesting still. It's still interesting though. Okay, so that group that is not getting it. Let's stay there for a second. What is their problem?
Lack of knowledge.
They don't know themselves. Any woman, and let me say this, and I could be wrong, this 4 left shoes. You gentlemen, Mama Noise, you can correct me. But any woman that's totally dependent on a man for her orgasm, she's playing a fool's game. You ought to know how and make the moves necessary to get to where you want to go. If you know you got to be on top, then your ass need to be rolling on over to get on top. If you know you only get it when it's doggy style, you need to be backing your ass up to get it doggy style. What you can't be doing is wasting time in positions that don't get you to where you want to go.
But that's such a loaded statement. Because the reality is loaded, because the reality is for a woman to get to that kind of knowledge is only going to come one or two ways. Either she's going to experiment with several partners, or she has to create an honesty and a truthfulness with the one partner where he can understand exactly what that takes place with. Now, here's the challenge of that. The challenge is, and Mama Noise and I have seen it many, many times, folk don't want to talk about that. They don't want to have that conversation. They don't want that level of honesty in their marriage. Now, Al, thank you, Al, because now you got me wanting to read the book now. Because now I'm very curious, because how do you overcome that? Or not how do, and like I don't know, but how did they overcome that? Or did they overcome that? I don't know. But my point is, because Cuz is alluding like you should know. And the reality is, man, women don't know.
You don't.
They don't know. And they feel ashamed sometimes for not knowing.
You know, Mr.
But they also feel ashamed when they actually do it because it's been so taboo.
I could buy that argument in 1979.
Oh, Lord.
I can't buy that argument in 2022.
Why not? It's the truth. You just said that. Hold on. You just quoted the statistics.
Kids know about sex way before we think they know about sex.
No, that's not true.
Kids don't know about sex.
Hold on. That's not true. Kids have access to the information about sex. But there's a big gulf between. No, that's not knowing. Just because you know where shit go, that don't mean you know what you're doing.
Oh, that's true. That is
Because
absolutely.
you can diagram something and you know that the penis goes into a vagina, don't mean you
I
know.
didn't say they put it into practice,
Yeah,
but
they
still
know about it.
They
But
know
that's
about sex.
but cuz that's the point. Just because we all knew about it, but damn it, we didn't know when we first started. We didn't always know what we was doing.
Every child is taught how to put whatever circle in the block. You put the square in the square.
The moment you was on the bus and you did this, you knew about it. You knew that this meant something and this meant something. But that don't mean what does that mean? Nobody know what that means until you actually do it. Then you say, "Oh, that's what that means."
I don't believe in 2022 that women are walking around ignorant.
I think you are. I think you're ignorant for saying that.
Okay.
You just read the numbers.
Ignorant, not you don't understand.
No. I read the numbers of women that's not getting it, but there's a reason why they're not getting it, and I don't believe it's ignorance to sex.
What is it? What is the answer? What's the reason?
I what the answer is. You have to stop relying on somebody else to get you there.
Oh,
I don't think it's that simple. I don't
believe that it's the man's package that's gonna get me there. You really walking around believing that because he got a big dick, he gonna get you there. Everything. That's not the truth.
Because that's you on the backside of years of understanding saying that. These women who some aren't doing it or some have done it and got it wrong, they don't know that. Because guess what? You want truth, you want to live a truth, let's live a truth. Parents ain't talking to their kids about sex. They're not breaking it all down and saying, here's how this goes, here's how it works, here's what you're gonna
feel. How much breaking down you gonna do?
Do you want to drive the car or not?
You can't break it down.
You want to drive it safely or not?
You can't break it down that far.
You gotta break it down enough for them to know what they're doing.
At what age?
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, that's too much. That's too much.
Okay, but give them a book or something.
No, they're gonna do just like my mama did. Go on down there with them white people at Planned Parenthood. They'll tell you what to do.
You better do it.
We're not gonna glance over Mama Noise saying put the square circle in the block.
Yeah, we left it alone, Stefan. We left it alone.
Saying, when kids are toddlers, they got the little block that has all the different shapes all around it, and you got to find the right one to go inside.
Yeah.
Too many women are ignorant to what it will take to get them there. Now, I agree with that. Too many women are ignorant to that because they believe that it's really their partner responsibility to get you there.
But can I say something to that?
It's not.
Hold on. Can I say something to that?
Uh-huh.
It kind of is, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it kind of is. Because if you're in a committed relationship,
it's a partnership. It's a partnership.
It is a partnership, and y'all are supposed to work together in this partnership.
Right. And then women will lay there and expect for you to get them there, and they don't know what it takes to get themselves there.
But that's the point. So we're kind of saying the same thing, just coming at it from two different angles. We got to talk and communicate and work through some stuff in order to get there. Yeah. So okay, so that's the micro version. We have beat this micro version to death. Let's broaden this out. So is the real thing that we're saying people don't really know how to live their truth correctly?
Some people
do know how to live it correctly.
What?
Yeah, some people are living their truth without being intrusive on others.
I'm not living my truth.
Why you say that, cuz?
It's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
You're not living your truth.
I make sacrifices and hold back on a whole lot because that which I could do, I don't do because I know it's going to have an impact on somebody else.
So, but again, why would that not be
every man alive that's straight? And I believe the gay ones are too. But anyway, that's another story.
You believe they straight?
Every man alive has dog in him. Every man alive has dog, roof in him.
But that doesn't mean I'm not living. That really doesn't mean they're not living their truth. We just literally say
you
it.
have to
We just
control that. You have to control that dog, not for your benefit, but for somebody else's benefit.
right. But we just said living your truth could be both. People who live with boundaries are living their truth just as well as people without boundaries are living.
Because I don't understand. That's the part I'm struggling with this conversation with you.
Because we can't say you live in a fake reality just because you have morals. You upstanding.
Why I don't believe in the term, Ron. That's why I don't believe in the term. That's why I think the term is trash.
Okay.
Okay.
That's different than if people really living their truth or not living their truth.
My truth. What the fuck are you talking about? Your truth. I'm sorry, Mama Noise.
And just like you said, your ass is living your damn truth. Why y'all about what the fuck people talking about?
My existence on this earth, I promise to God, is for other people.
Well, I need a couple $100,000. Can you help me out?
Daughter. That's my purpose. I don't need my truth. My truth. I don't believe in it.
Al, do you believe in it? Living your truth?
Absolutely.
Tell us why. I'm curious.
What do you mean? Tell you why?
Like, what is that?
Because I believe that a man should only base his internal happiness, his own experiences. He shouldn't be urged or manipulated by external people and causes. I think that is essential to living your truth. Being solely responsible for your own happiness. Yes, you can be responsible for other people's as well. So you can live your truth and still sacrifice for others.
Yep.
There's
that's not your truth though. I don't think that's
absolutely. Well, sure it is. Your truth could be a spirit of sacrifice.
Your truth.
Yeah, we see that generally doesn't work out with those.
It works for you
and those priests. That generally doesn't work out very well.
But so you're telling me you're not living your truth with the sacrifices that you're making for your family? That's not living your truth.
Well, once again, I don't believe in the term.
Okay, but let's change the term. Okay. Could living your truth be, I am born to make sacrifices. I am born to do things for these women in my life. I am born to be a blessing to others. Could that be a better definition of
if you're going to broaden it out that far, that's fine. Okay. But at some point you have to narrow it down. What is my truth? Who am I? What is it that moves me? Many of us ignore those truths until it's too late. And now we're caught up because we never really addressed who we were.
Unfortunately, we are. It's a syntax thing. You're living your truth. Regardless, if doing for others, sacrificing for your spouse and your offspring, but that's still living your truth. It's what makes you happy, right? You're doing what you've identified as your purpose, right?
Let me say this right here. To address your question, because I know where you're from and I know where Mr. Noise is from. Mama Noise and Ron, they lost calls. But anyway, there was a song back in the day say, I've had some good days.
Oh, Lord.
I've had some hills to climb. My good days outweigh my bad days, but I won't complain. The reality is, life to me on this side sucks. Now that's my truth.
So nigga, you living your truth.
I got some good days. I got some bad days. Right now I'm having a bad day. Vertigo been kicking my ass all day. But the reality is, we all go through that. So living my truth, I just disagree with the catchphrase. It seems to be hot right now. And
it's very hot.
I don't accept it. because it's problematic.
So if I were to say, Mr. Jay Joyner, are you being your authentic self? Do you accept that?
Or Mr. J, are you being who you were meant to be?
I think I understand.
Now, Ron, I like that. Now, I'm doing my best. Let me say that. I'm doing my best to be who I was meant to be.
I think I understand what Jay is trying to say, because the reality is many of us use the statement, I'm living my truth, to justify dumb shit that we want to do. Or to justify our wanting to walk a path without the consequences of what should happen in what we originally deemed would be normal society.
Don't judge me.
Right. So if I want to have a polyamorous relationship, that's my truth.
To some, living their truth simply means that they can't be questioned by others.
That they can't be questioned by others. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think that's my struggle with the red table, because it feels like you want to put this out there in a way to where the rest of us don't have a say so in what it is. And that seems egregious to me, because I'm supposed to just get on board with this because that's what you said it is. That's the whole reason. That's the whole trend. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not a big fan of Ron DeSantis. I think the dude is probably a racist. But I don't disagree with what he says about the transgender sports thing. I don't. I think what you are born with. Listen, if transgender children want to compete in sports, that is quite all right. Compete in the sport that you were born in. Or let's legislate a whole different category called I don't know what I am, and let that group compete against themselves. That's now. Am I racist? Am I right? You understand what I'm saying? But it feels like you are. Adidas said, put a commercial out. They're running this commercial right now about transgender, and it's the transgender. We gotta support. Well, I can support them and not support them competing against outside of their assigned gender.
Well, let me ask a question. Would it be fair to say it's no different than when there used to be only black or white race? You've had to add other races.
That's a
What was
great
your question again, Mama Noise? I didn't quite get it.
Is adding transgender the equivalent of expounding on races and saying it's not just black or white, but it's black, Hispanic.
For the longest, my nieces were not, because they are biracial, trying to get them to check one box, it didn't make sense. They are biracial. So then they created another block and said biracial. They created the Indian block. They created all these other races so that everybody could be clear that there was a choice for them.
Woo, Mama Noise, you just ushered in a part of the conversation that is wow. So are you saying that the fair thing to do would be to account for this choice and allow for there to be another, to use your words, another box to check, so that group of people who don't have a confidence one way or the other, they get to check that box, and then society needs to accommodate them accordingly?
But I think it's more difficult than that, because the issue is they have a box. I was born a male, but my box is female. So they have a box. So it is now it has to be legislated. No, you cannot check that box.
But if they're identifying themselves as a transgender, that means they're not trying, that's what they want to be labeled as. Not the girl, the boy, but transgender.
I don't think that's it. I don't think the identification tag has been applied to them as transgender, but they identify as female.
But you're saying, Mama,
they don't identify as transgender. They identify as female,
right?
Or male, vice versa, whatever the case may be.
But what you're saying, Mama Noise, is maybe they need that box, and societally we need to say, if you feel this way, if you feel like you're a male but you're born a female, then your new box is this one, regardless of whether you feel that way or not. The rest of us, because see, my pastor preached something and he made a statement, and I think this statement is profound. He said, whatever you identify is, that's your business. But to what degree am I supposed to participate in what you feel?
Do you realize how unsuccessful that's going to be? Let's apply it to your own situation. You want to check the box Jamaican. Well, sir, you were born in America. We don't care where your parents originated from. You were born in America. So that Jamaican box does not apply to you. Next.
Well,
why you gotta fire shots like that, Albie?
No, I'm just saying how easy or how unsuccessful that's probably going to be.
Well, but what I discovered is I did some research on it. I knew it already, but I went to research it again just to be sure of what I said. Is that the bottom line is that they said in America, whatever race your mama is the race you are. So even though if Lloyd's mama would have been West Indian, that's the category, because Jamaican is not one of the options, it's West Indian, then they would say Lloyd is West Indian. But because Lloyd's mama is African American, they say Lloyd is African American.
I don't want to confuse the point, because that's not really the point.
I'm just saying in that regard.
I got you. I want to read what Twitter said, because I think it's powerful. Twitter said, my problem with the red table, and I'm expanding the statement out to what we're discussing. He said, this is the equivalent of a crooked person trying to tell me how to draw a straight line.
Preachers do it all the time.
Hold on. If I had said that, y'all came down on me.
I got it.
Damn. The other Negro said, we all fine.
But I get what they're saying, and what you're saying, is that because here's the problem with the whole transgender thing. We're saying, oh man, I'm about to get myself in a lot of trouble. We're essentially saying a confused should tell the rest of society how we should now think.
Confused?
They've been doing it for how long?
Well, the issue is we don't want males that were born males competing with girls that were born girls,
right,
in the same sport, because of the strength of the guy, the ability, the muscle. We don't want these men that are biologically men competing with girls. So even if you created a different category, in essence, what you're going to be doing is creating a category where cross-dressing males will now be competing, because you're only going to have the strongest boys competing against the strongest boys. And the girls are going to be competing against girls. They're just going to look like boys. What's the point?
They now get to live in their truth.
It doesn't make sense to do that, because boys are still competing against boys. Well, boys were competing against boys over here too.
But now they get to live in their truth. Now they get to dress up like women and still compete and have the same experiences, human experiences, as they would say, as everybody else.
Doesn't make sense.
Having their own division solves a lot of problems when it comes to sports. That own division allow them to participate as their gender against their gender, whatever they identify with. If a female identifies as a male and she's playing against other males in that same division, you can't bitch them on, cry, or complain. You have your own division. You get everything that comes along with that division. No different than the men division, no different than the women's division. But you cannot put them into the other division that take away from the athletes that are in those divisions. And you don't want to exclude them and say they can't play. So just like they created men's sports started first, and then they created women's sports. What's the difference?
That's a lot of work, man. So now when I go to the state championship basketball, we had Division 5A men, 5A women, and 5A transgender.
You have Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA. What's the difference?
That's a big difference, Ryan. That's a huge difference.
Money is it. If it was all about keeping it equal, why have all the divisions anyway? You broke all the other divisions off because of the caliber of the play.
Well, no, we broke all the divisions off because of fairness and access. Like you said, well, money was a part of it because they had more money at the bigger schools. But that's not what we're proposing here today. We're proposing to break it down to a place where it is broken down divisionally because of competitive balance.
Then why, again, we created a male and you created female sports for fairness in competition. If you want to continue that, you have to create their own division to allow them to continue.
We've always had more than two sexes.
I just got a note from Facebook. Apparently Dwayne Wade's daughter's son.
Yeah, daughter
has a boyfriend, and he was a she, and she was a he.
And I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Well, he identifies as a girl. I'm sorry. No, that's right. That's right. He identifies as a girl, and the girl identifies as a guy. So now they're dating.
And they all showed up for Easter.
So essentially he's dating a girl, right, and she's but they reversed the roles.
That's right.
I'm so confused. I don't understand living your truth. I'm gonna be honest with y'all today. I'm gonna just be really transparent.
Is that a catchphrase?
It is a catchphrase. It quite honestly, it is maybe the most popular catchphrase that is currently in our society.
Sounds like
I want to live my truth. I want to live out loud and be open. And those that disagree with it are vilified for their disagreement.
It went from living my best life to living my truth. That's basically what they live my best life. Everybody was so good with it. Now somebody said, well, let's change it from living my best life to living my truth. Or living your truth.
There was a time when biracial marriages were, to say that it was taboo would be an understatement.
Right. It was criminal.
It was absolutely not allowed against the law.
Right.
But there were black people and white people that wanted to live their truths. the one they love.
Okay.
There are stories of what they had to go through in order to do that.
Very much so.
How
So is this that?
Huh?
Is this that?
It's a different time, but it's along the same lines.
Yeah, I guess I don't care about what they want to do. If they want to do it, let them do it. It's on them.
It sounds so cliche. It sounds like it's part of the woke movement. Living the truth. And then we saying, let me keep it 100 truth.
Let me keep it 100. Let me keep it 100.
Don't you keep it 100? Are you telling us lies, or do you have to say this when I'm gonna clarify as truth? I'm gonna tell you this is 100. Now the rest of the stuff, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
I'm living my truth. Lloyd, you living your truth?
I thought I was.
I mean,
Mama Noise, you living your truth?
I thought I was. I don't,
man,
because you living what you was meant to do.
I don't know. Now I'm confused. I don't know.
See how you tailor made that for me?
He don't like the term living the truth, but
You got to tailor make it.
I'm living what I'm supposed to do.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier. That we got to tailor make stuff to make it, accommodating.
I think what you're supposed to do and your truth is two different things. There are a lot of parents that are supposed to be parents, but they're not parents because they're living their truth. So what I'm supposed to do doesn't necessarily line up with my truth. Once you have kids, there are directions you should go as a parent. Some people don't make that transition. They still living
Al is already shaking his head.
So when now?
Al was already shaking your head before you ever finished.
They never make that transition to being a parent. They continue to live what they consider to be their truth.
That's right.
So what I'm supposed to do versus my truth doesn't necessarily line up.
But my truth was when I had my kids, I was supposed to raise my kids. My truth was your ass is gonna raise your damn kids. That was my truth.
Al, why would you shake your head?
Because living your truth, you're confusing living their truth with you only live once. That's not the same. They're living their best life, and that's not their truth. Because living your truth is one, being your authentic self, right? Two, understanding your purpose, understanding your value, not seeking validation. So they're living their best life is not the same as living your truth.
See, if living your truth is what you said, I think I could rock with it. I just don't know societally if that's what it is. But if it was what you said, I think I can get on board with that.
What you just said was a euphoric view, a perfect view of how life is supposed to operate. That's not society. People are living their truths regardless of who they hurt.
And I consider that living your best life.
Living your best life is doing what you want regardless of who you hurt. Is that what I heard you say, Ron? Or I'm off?
That's how I look at living. When people say they live their best life, they're doing what they need to do regardless of consequences.
Again,
best life is living to the fullest.
Again, that's what I was going to say. Again, I see that is living their best life, not living their truth.
Not living their truth. Okay, I see what you said, Al. I got you. I'm with you now. So that's the divider for you. If you out here just wilding, you living your best, what you think is your best life, and you don't give a damn what the consequences are. But if you're truly living in your truth, as Al is defining it, then you have understanding of your purpose, why you're here, who you serve, the way you. Okay, so that I can get on board with. I wish it was that way. I just don't know if it is that way.
And I'm not foolish enough to think that it is.
Right.
As Cuz say, it's not a utopic view. Right. I mean, it wish that it was, but no. I would like to think that my truth is not offensive to somebody else. At least I would. That part of my purpose would be not to be offensive to other people, not to infringe upon their happiness. Because if I'm not seeking validation for mine, then I don't want to be influential in theirs or lack thereof.
Can I ever nakedly be who I am? Or do I have to make adjustments and approve of my own adjustments, obviously? But do I have to make adjustments as to who I really am?
See, that's a loaded question too, because the reality is yes. The answer is yes. You can live however you want to live. You can do whatever it is you want to do, and that is kind of what society is choosing now. I want to do whatever it is I want to do, free from judgment, free from consequence, free from responsibility, and free from characterization. So so the answer to that question is yes. The second part of that question, though, is should you? Should your truth infringe upon societal's norms or lives or whatever?
Where do we get our truths from? Where do we get living our truths
Aha.
from? Where does that come from?
Aha. Now we talking. Where do these truths come from? Where are they built from? Are they built out of religious understanding? Are they built out of pain and protection of oneself from the pains of family historical trauma or whatever the case may be? Where am I building this truth? And can that even be called a truth when it's built on such a structure?
That's the question.
That's the question. I get female A gets raped at 7. Now she hates men. Now she campaigns forward as and champions relationships that are solely lesbian of nature and says all men's a dog. Is she living truth, her truth, or is she projecting her pain onto others?
Boom, shakalaka.
See, that's the part of the conversation to me that no one wants to have, which makes the whole simplistic nature of the statement so frustrating. Because you're saying this thing like we all just supposed to get on board like it's the right thing. It's not the right thing. We're allowing people to walk in spaces without accountability. And if we're all unaccountable to one another, that makes this society very dangerous. There's a law going in place in Georgia right now where I think the governor is about to allow people to carry a gun without any type of license, permit, nothing. You ain't got to have nothing. If you want to go buy a gun, go buy a gun. That's how I feel about us when it comes to our feelings.
Don't y'all do that in Texas now?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I am who I am because of my dysfunctional past that I accept or reject.
You are who you are. You are who you are because of your past. Not everybody's past is dysfunctional.
We are human beings. There is dysfunction in everything that we do. None of us are perfect.
There's not perfection in everything you do.
We might project something different, but even me as a good dad, I got some dysfunctional ass ways. Even you as a great husband, you got some dysfunctional ass ways.
I take offense with dysfunction. I mean, everybody has issues and problems, and nobody's perfect. But it doesn't mean I'm my life was dysfunction. I had a dysfunctional past.
Well, maybe you have a problem.
I had experiences. I had life lessons. Doesn't mean it's dysfunctional.
But you have a problem with the term, but that's really what it is. We all are products of
our experiences,
dysfunction,
and our life lessons.
Yeah,
you can't say everybody is dysfunctional. We can say folks had problems and issues.
Ron struggles with these definitions, boy. He be,
we put too much on these damn labels and shit, and that's why we get to the issues that we get to.
Well, we have to understand that. I mean, I know people don't like to hear it, but none of us are perfect. We're all broken.
Oh, I never said we wasn't perfect. I never said we didn't have problems.
Broken people do dysfunctional shit. It might not be big dysfunctional shit, but it's dysfunctional shit. I mean, I'm a great dad, but I mean, I fuck up every now and then.
Yeah, you might fuck all the time, but I ain't gonna call you that you're a dysfunctional dad because you had a life lesson that you fucked up on.
No. I'm not saying I'm a dysfunctional dad. I'm just not I'm not a perfect dad. So from that, dysfunction comes. Because we're not perfect, we're going to listen. My daughter, your child, your all's children are going to have a story when they become adults. And I guarantee you their story won't line up exactly the way you want it to line up.
Right.
It's not supposed to.
Everybody has a story. Well, that's a part of the dysfunction. We think we're going one direction. We think we're doing one thing for them. That's not what they want. That's not what they're receiving. And they're going a different direction. That's the dysfunction of the human experience.
That's called life. It's called experiences. Doesn't mean it's dysfunctional.
Okay.
I think some of my problem is that we say, we're not perfect, but yet, in some of the environments and circles that we've been in, we want to portray as if we are. And sometimes I feel like it's a cop out to say, we've all fallen short. Yeah, you say that, but you don't want to hear it. And then when you got somebody that just goes ahead and puts it out there, then it's like, oh, okay, well, we don't want that much truth. We don't want that much transparency. And it's like, okay, I struggle. I struggle because I was always the preacher that would just go ahead and say, this is what we're not saying. And then it's like, okay, make sure she does not get on the microphone.
And that's one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum is what we've been talking about here today, which is there's all these people who say we do make mistakes and we are messed up. But my messed up is normal and it's okay because we can expand the definitions and the boundaries and I don't have to heal. I can just live in this and call myself something else.
Yeah. So I struggle with that because we be quick to say it, I want to look like I have. I think, it's sort of like what we've heard our whole lives is that we as a people have no problem trying to look our best on the exterior, have no problem investing hundreds, thousands, lots of money on the exterior. You don't mind pulling up to, your mama's house in a very expensive car because you don't want to invest in getting your own place. You say, I'd rather buy me a nicer car and then, just live over at mama's house and just keep on driving the very expensive.
But Kenyatta, the reason why what you're saying is I don't say wrong. It's not wrong. It's flawed. It's true, but it's the reason why there's a slight twist on it is because the buying is not even the thing anymore. They don't want to have to buy. They just want to live in whatever it is. So if I feel this way inside, then I should be allowed to feel that way. And I shouldn't have to cover it up to make you feel comfortable. So because your scenario, I bought this car to make you feel comfortable. But I shouldn't have to buy that car to make you feel comfortable. They don't even see it as messed up. Like, it's not messed up to be born this way, but then feel like you're this way. That's not messed up anymore. That's just my truth.
Mm-hmm. I watched a movie last night, Into the Wild.
Okay.
For the first time. You guys seen that movie?
No.
No?
I haven't.
What is it?
It's a great flick.
Into the Wild, the movie.
It's on Netflix. Great flick.
Okay.
Basically, these parents, these suburban parents, you probably would say, did their best to raise their kids, but their son didn't take to it. He was totally anti-society. Totally would not conform to society at all. They wanted to do this for him. They wanted him to get this. They wanted to do this. He wouldn't conform to it. He did finish college just because they made him, go that route. But as soon as he finished, he packed up his bags and he took off on Into the Wild. He went out to live off the land. And he kept coming across, I shouldn't be telling the whole story.
You can tell it.
You tell it. We probably ain't gonna watch it anyway. We ain't already seen this, so probably ain't gonna watch it. So go ahead. So you ain't gonna.
He kept coming across people in his path. He was determined to make his way to Alaska and live off the land. And he kept going through these different states and coming across these different people that were giving him nuggets of wisdom about what he was doing wrong in his pursuit of his happiness, his true, authentic self. And he kept coming across these different people, but he came across an older gentleman finally, and they kept asking him about his family. Where's your mom, your dad? He was a young 21-year-old fresh out of college. Where are your parents? And he kept saying, I don't have parents. I'm out here. I'm living my life. He could have said, I'm living my best life if he wanted to. The point is, eventually he got ill and died. But before he died, he used to write all of these different quotes about his being self-sufficient and living on the land and living by himself. But before he died, he wrote out in his book there that the human experience, I'm paraphrasing, but the human experience needs other people in it. That you really can't do this thing by yourself. You can't live your best life or your true authentic self without other people. So my point is, I forgot my point.
You didn't write that down before. You got a pen in your hand.
What you can't do is raise your eyebrows like
well, that. How about this? How about we take the point that we got from what you said? The point that I got from what you said is your truth. You're trying to make us live your truth based on what you want us to be. What we want to. You want to make us receive what you're telling us.
Right.
And see what I got out of it.
Put it out.
I don't see that as an example of living his truth. I see that as an example of pursuit of happiness.
That was a good movie.
His family's wealth did not make him happy. Hence, he gave it all away. All his savings, everything, he gave it all away.
That's why people pursue the living your truth is because they're not living a happy life. They're not happy with where they are.
And see, I think his pursuit of happiness is just a minute piece of seeking his truth. I think that is one of the pieces that fit into the puzzle. Getting to finding your authentic self is only one piece of the puzzle of living your truth.
Right.
Seeking unvalidated internal happiness is one piece of the larger puzzle of living your truth.
So when one goes off to college and suffers for 4 years in college, is that living your truth, or is that doing what's necessary for your future and others that are going to come into your life? So if I'm living my truth and I say, you know what, college ain't for me. And many of us would have loved to have said that.
Right.
But the reality is we did what we had to do in order to prepare a better life for ourselves and our family moving forward. But my truth could have been, hell no. Because you suffer in college. That's the whole truth. We all know we do. You're broke, disgusted, and can't be trusted. Studying day in and day out. No. It was easy for you, Albie?
No, but I don't think there was any trust issues. I was broke and disgusted, but I don't think there was
I
any
trusted
trust
Al. We were
issues.
good. We were fine. Hilarious.
What I took from Cuz's thing was that kid came from a functional family, and then he turned into an asshole. That's what I took from that statement.
His family was dysfunctional.
No. His family was functional. He just became an asshole. That's what I took from your statement.
Okay.
Oh wow. Oh, there's so much more to unpack here. We may have to figure out a way to part to this. But for time,
we having a sex talk on Saturday, the way it feels.
well, I mean, it was a little bit of both. We like sex on this show. I don't know what to tell you.
Mama Noise got a whole lot that she's gonna talk about on that one, boy.
We got to come back to this.
See,
I don't understand the purpose of a woman having an orgasm. I think it's overrated.
Then so was y'all's.
Damn, he just tried to get her riled up before we left.
It worked. It worked. She perked up. She perked all the way up.
Talking about
I'm not gonna let him do it, Al.
Yeah, she snagged that worm.
Right. I'm not gonna let him do it, Al. Tomorrow, y'all can go unfiltered and get into it. Apparently, the I Still Do has been decided. We're talking about what your man wants and what your woman wants. And then I don't know, Dad and the girl, I don't think it's been decided yet. So, or neither is Uncorked Wine. So, we'll get into that tomorrow. But we might revisit this orgasm thing tomorrow on Unfiltered Black Friday.
Nah, you can do it on Saturday night. It's like this.
saying. You're trying to act like eyes ain't important.
Al, what is it? You don't want to talk about orgasms?
You can do it on a Saturday night, man. That's a Saturday night.
I don't want to talk about orgasm either. There's no point.
Lies.
I like orgasm personally.
I mean, ours has a point.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both. I want her to have hers. I want mine.
Mom knows you don't have to eat every worm that drops down in the lake.
Sometimes let that bait go, Mom knows. Let the bait go.
I'm just saying, it's a wonderful thing.
Talking about, yeah, like it.
And Al, she did not let the bait go.
With that being, hey, I'm gonna help her. I'm gonna help her live her truth. We'll be back tomorrow on Talkin NOIZ.
Yours ain't necessary.
That's Mama Noise. That's Al. That's Cuz. That's Rod. We'll be back tomorrow.
Let your hand be your friend.
We're talking.